How to subtract mixed numbers with renaming. This is probably one of the most difficult topics in 6th grade for most students. But you know what? When you use your math brain, you build that muscle up. So just work hard and use your energy in your brain. So let's look at our first example. You have 13 and 1/4. You want to take away 3/4. Wait. You know what? One second. Let me set it up like this way. 1/4 minus 3/4. Let's see. I have 1/4. I need to take away 3 from this 1/4. Wait, how can you take away 3/4 from just 1/4? Do you really have enough pieces? Wait, isn't this just like regular subtraction? We need to rename or regroup. So we need to regroup. So who should I regroup from? Just like in regular subtraction. Well, probably from this whole number. So the 13 becomes a 12. To turn a 13 to a 12, don't you take away one whole? You do take away one whole. Just like in regular subtraction. Remember how in regular subtraction, for example, if you have 13 minus, wait, let's do it a little harder. You have 113 minus 7. Can you do 3 minus 7? No. You have to regroup from the 1 becomes a 0, and then you put in a one whole right there in front of it. So now it's 13. So let's go back here. So can you take away 3/4 from this 1/4? No, you have to regroup. So 13 becomes a 12. Yesterday, or the previous lesson, you learned another way to write one whole as a fraction. How do you write one whole as a fraction? Let me think. All right, you have one whole. I need to turn this to a fraction at one whole. What if I cut into 4 parts? Would 4 over 4 be the same as one whole? It is. So you have 1/4 and 4/4. Together, how many pieces are shaded together? 5/4. Now can we subtract? What's 5/4 minus 3/4? 2/4. And 12 minus nothing is 12. So its answer is 12 and 2/4. But can you simplify 12 and 2/4? What is the greatest factor that goes into 2 and 4? 2. So you get 12.5. It takes a while to learn this. So again, can you take away 3/4 from 1/4? No, you don't have enough. So you have to regroup. So 13 becomes 12. And then you have one whole. But how do you turn this one whole into a fraction? 4/4. 1/4 plus 4/4 is 5/4. Take away 3/4, 2/4. Let's look at another example. Maybe this one will be a little more easier to understand now that you're using your math brain muscle. 14 and 1/3 minus 7 and 2/3. The denominators are the same. So let me draw this. We have 1/3. We have 2/3. Can you take away 2/3 from this 1/3? No. We're going to have to regroup. Who should I regroup from? From the 14, which becomes a 13. To turn a 14 to a 13, you take away one whole, right? So how do you write this one whole as a fraction? Let's see. How can I write this one whole or draw this one whole as a fraction? With 3/3? Is that the same thing as one whole? It is. So 1/3 plus 3/3 is 4/3. Can you subtract 4/3 minus 2/3? You can. 2/3. 13 and let's look at don't forget the whole number. 13 minus 7 is 6 and 2/3. So let's look at our third example now. You have 8 and 2/5 minus 4.5. What can you tell me about the denominators? They're different. So we need to rename them and find a common denominator. What does 5 and 2 share? 10. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. What's another name for 2/5? 4/10. What's another name for 1/2? 2/4, 3/6, 4/8, and 5/10. I'm going to draw this. Again, some kids say, do I have to keep on drawing this, Mr. Joe? No, you don't have to keep drawing it. So you have 10 pieces. You have 4 of them. Can you take away 5 pieces from this 4? No, you're going to have to regroup. Who should I regroup from? From the 8, which becomes a 7. So to turn an 8 to a 7, you have 1 whole. How can I turn this 1 whole into a fraction? Let's see. If I cut it into 10 parts, and I shade in all of it, that's 10/10. Is 10/10 the same thing as 1 whole? It is. So what's 4/10 plus 10/10 add up to? 14/10. Can you subtract 14/10 minus 5/10? Yes, you can. 9/10. What about the whole numbers? 7 minus 4 is 3. 3 and 9/10. Let's look at our last example. 6 1/3 minus 2 1/2. Do these share a common denominator? No. So what do 3 and 2 share? I think they share 6, but I'm not sure. 3, 6. What's another name for 1/3? 2/6. What's another name for 1/2? 2/4 or 3/6. Again, I'm going to draw this for those who enjoy the drawing method. I cut this into 6 parts. I shade in 2 of them. 2/6. Can you take away 3 pieces from this? 3 parts from it? No. You're going to have to regroup. Who should I regroup from? From the 5. So to turn the 6 to a 5, you have 1 whole. But how do you write 1 whole as a fraction? Do I have to draw a picture or can I? No, I'm going to draw a picture. So how can I turn this 1 whole into a fraction? What if I cut it into 6 parts, since our denominator is 6, and I shaded all 6 of them? That's 6/6. So what is 2/6 plus this 6/6? 8/6. Can you take away 3/6? Yes, you can. 5/6. And what about the whole numbers? 5 minus 2 is 3. 3 and 5/6. So I'll admit, you have to use your math brain muscle. Don't give up. Work hard. So what we learned here is, in this one, the second fraction, you cannot take away from the first fraction. So you're going to have to regroup. So you regroup from the whole number, and then you take away 1 whole. But how do you write that 1 whole as a fraction? You turn it to a fraction. So look at the denominators to help you. Then you add up these 2 fractions. So 4/10 plus 10/10 is 14/10. Then you take away whatever you're supposed to take away, 9/10, and then you subtract the whole numbers. So this is subtracting mixed numbers with renaming.